Alright, here are solutions to perfect problem 1 for Math 65. We're given this system of linear equations and asked to find the solution 3 different ways. I think I'm going to wait and do A later because I kind of want to know what the answer is before I try to find the answer by graphing. I feel like that's the least precise method. So maybe I'll do part B or C first. Let's do part B, maybe over here. Part B. So we're going to use substitution. So the idea with substitution, we're going to look at these two equations and find one that would be easy to solve for one of the variables. So I think what I'm going to do is take equation 2, which is 2y minus x minus 8 equals 0, and I'm going to solve for this x right here. So the way I'll solve for x is I'll add x to both sides of the equation, and what that will give me is 2y minus 8 equals x. So what I've done here is I've solved for x. I've solved for one of the two variables, and that's good because now I can take the other equation, which is, maybe I leave a little bit of room, negative 3y plus 3x equals 15. And since I know what x is, I can plug in here, put in 2y minus 8 instead of x. So I can get negative 3y plus 3. And then instead of writing x, I'm going to write 2y minus 8 is equal to 15. So now I have an equation that only has y's. The only variable in it is y. So I can solve for that variable. I can distribute this 3 and get 6y minus 24. And that equals 15. And then let's see, if I combine like terms, negative 3y and positive 6y leaves me with positive 3y minus 24 equals 15. And then if you add 24 to both sides of the equation, you get 3y equals 39. So finally, dividing by 3 leaves you with y equals 13. And then you're not quite done here, but you're in pretty good shape. Now that we know what y is, we can take this equation here, that x equals 2y minus 8, and we can plug in what y is equal to, specifically 13. So we could say x equals 2 times 13 minus 8. We can solve that. 2 times 13 is 26. And 26 minus 8, we can get 18. So we get x equals 8 and y equals 13 for our solution. And now that we know the solution, we can do this 2 more ways, by graphing and by addition. Maybe I'll get graphing out of the way now. So by graphing, what I want to do is first take these two equations and put them into y equals mx plus b form. So I got negative 3y plus 3x equals 15. I want to solve this for y. Have I done that anywhere here? I don't think so. So I'll subtract 3x. I got negative 3y equals negative 3x plus 15. And then divide by negative 3. Careful, it's negative 3 we're dividing by here. So that leaves us with positive 1x. You can just write x. And 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. So we get that our slope is equal to 1, which you can write as 1 over 1, and our y-intercept is negative 5. And then similarly, we got 2y minus x minus 8 equals 0. So I could add the x and add the 8 over. Maybe I'll do it one step at a time. 2y minus 8 equals x. 2y equals x plus 8. But then I got to divide both sides by 2. And so that leaves me with half x plus 4. So I get that m is equal to 1/2 and b is equal to 4. And so now I can try to graph these two lines and figure out where they intersect, although I know they're going to intersect at 18, 13. So I can get kind of clever about how I draw my graph. Maybe do something like this. I'm going to need to go up to 18 on the x-axis. So maybe 5, 10, 15, 20. And then On my y-axis, I need to go up to 13. So 5, 10, 15. I'll put this -5 here because I think we'll need that for our intercept. And now I can draw the two lines. So this first line has a y-intercept at -5, so this point right here is on the graph. Then it goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. If you continue in that fashion, you get a line that looks something like that-ish. And then our other line, we got our y-intercept is at 4, so somewhere in there. And then it goes up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So I get these lines that look like this. And I already know they're supposed to cross at 18 and 13. So I can kind of cheat a little bit and just draw a line that does something like that. Now I have this point right here. I can go ahead and label this as 18, 13. You could have done this one before you did this one, but you'd have to be really careful with your graph to get it to go through these points. You know, you might need graph paper or something. So that's why I did this one later. I kind of wanted to illustrate the weaknesses in the graphing method and the advantages to doing things algebraically, either by substitution or by addition. So finally, let's finish this up, do it by addition. I got my two equations, -3y plus 3x equals 15. And 2y minus x minus 8 equals 0. So the first step, what you want to do is you want to line everything up. We got the y's and the x's lined up, but our equal signs don't line up. We got a number on this side and a number on this side. So maybe we'll add our 8 over here and get these things to say -3y plus 3x equals 15 and 2y minus x equals 8. And now that things are lined up, we can multiply one of these equations so that when we add them, something will cancel out. So the easiest one that I see is multiplying this bottom part by 3, because that'll give us positive 3x and negative 3x, although there are other options. But if you do that, you just leave the top equation alone, and we'll multiply everything in the bottom equation by 3. So instead of 2y, we'll get 6y. And instead of negative x, we'll get negative 3x. And instead of 8, we'll get 24. Then we can add these guys up. -3y plus 6y is 3y. These cancel out, and we get 39. So maybe I'll jump up to here. I got 3y equals 39, which I can solve and get y equals 13. Kind of like we have here. And once you know that y equals 13, you can plug it in exactly like we did here. Guess I could just take advantage of that, or I could redo it. I'll redo it. I won't be lazy. So I got another equation. Take your choice. 2y minus x minus 8 equals 0. But I know y is 13. So I got 2 times 13 minus x minus 8 equals 0. I got 26 minus x minus 8 equals 0. 26 minus 8 is 18 minus x equals 0. And now if I add x to both sides, I get that 18 is what x is. So I get x equals 18 here, and y equals 13 here. Same thing I got here, same thing I got here. I guess that's the end of this problem.